Well, welcome back, everyone. It is time to continue the next phase of the Wilderness Wi-Fi solution and trying to figure out if it's all done and if it works. So I just want to kick this thing off. Let's take a walk and we'll start looking at everything that we got done and figure out if it actually works the way I envisioned it. So let's get after it. Alright, so there is the heart of why I call this Wilderness Wi-Fi. This actually is a wavelength extender. It is Wi-Fi 6 capable. It is dual band as well, so it's got 2.4 and 5 gigahertz in it. Right now I've got the 2.4 band dedicated exclusively to my security system because all of the cameras only work on 2.4. The 5 gig is external 5 gig Wi-Fi access outside the bus. A little bit later I'll run through and show you how that works and what we got going on there. But as you can see, and pardon the annoyance from my security system, but I'm testing it out. My waterproof feed through there, so if I need to take this down, I just disconnect it right here and I can pull it out. Everything is going through the roof right there. I'm going to fix that up again later. Right now it's just butyl tape that's closing it up, but I'm going to do some more work there. As you can see, I did add a camera up here to monitor the roof, and it's recording me. And I've got one on the front side there that's actually providing security for the front of the bus, which was a blind spot. So that's what it looks like up here. This is the heart of why I call it Wilderness, because this will broadcast, theoretically, we'll find out, theoretically up to, I think it's 300 meters, 900 meters, something like that. I don't have the ability in this area to test it to that distance because of all the woods. So that's where that is. That's what we got going on there. So let's look at a few other things up here on the roof, and then we'll go down inside the bus and look at the heart of everything in there. Okay, one of the first things that I want to share with you, if you remember, I had talked about wanting to seal up the seams between these boards to try to keep the water off the top of the emergency hatch. Well, I did that, but it apparently doesn't seem to be working the way I envisioned that it would. But the reason for that I did that was because I have now developed a leak in my emergency hatch. And so I'm going to take that thing out, tear it apart, rebuild it, and see if I can close that up so it doesn't leak. But right now it is giving me a little bit of a leak problem. So I think it has to do with when I was doing all the work up here, putting pressure on it and stuff. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to take it off, tear it apart. I've got a spare that I took off where the front max air fan is. I'm going to do that one first before I pull this off of here. Make sure I can do it. And then if I can get that one done, I'll probably put that one in this one's place and then rebuild this one so I have a working spare. So just wanted to share that with you, let you know that I did get that done. You can see I've got all the sealant in between all the seams, but it doesn't seem to be working because I did dry that off at one point, but it's got water in it again. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. And one of the things that I forgot to mention while I was up here, I wanted to bring you back up to the front and show you, if you notice the gray conduit right there, so that gray cable right there is actually the output from my Starlink router up here. I've got it running through this conduit that runs alongside of my solar panels. Right here, I've got an access point right there to the cable. Comes over to here, I've got another access point to the cable right there. Comes up through here. And it goes up to the top of my flagpole, and there's my antenna mounted. It's a little bit out of alignment, and this thing does move quite easily. So far it's been pretty stable in the wind. Haven't had any issues with it, but the alignment, tilt, azimuth, all of that kind of stuff seems to be off a little bit, but it is working very well. I'm not complaining about it, and it is just a little bit. And the other thing is the obstruction map picks up that tree right there all over the place on the obstruction view in the Starlink app. So, and I figured as much when I saw the way it was going to align. If it would have been over here a little bit, it probably would have been a lot better, but it's shooting right through that tree and it's showing up on the obstruction map. So wanted to share that with you. So if we follow this down back to the bottom of the pole, you can see the cable goes right there. It loops, it comes out and then goes up. So what's going to happen is it's going to route over here. I've got more conduit over here. It's going to go through the conduit here, and then I've got some glue-on clips that will get it out of the way of the hatch for the emergency exit. Goes through there, and then it goes back over to my mobile roof mount where the antenna will reside when I'm going down the road. All the links do work. It does go in there and connect. One of the things that I may do when I pull this thing back down and put it back on the mobile mount is actually take that elbow out. It's taking some distance out of my cable that I need. The idea was to bring it so that it would just go straight up, but it's not really working. And the way I have it set up right now, all it's going to do is catch water and run it down through that tube, so I'm not going to do that. So anyway, that's what I've got done on the roof so far. So I moved my antenna from the mobile mount, put it up there on top of the flagpole. Flagpole is fully extended, going all the way up. By the way, the distance from the top of the deck to the top of the mast up there is exactly 9'6". So that's how high it is in the air above the height of the bus. When it is fully retracted, it is a little bit higher than my exhaust pipe. So I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to figure out a way to just permanently remove it when I'm going down the road, or accept the change in my maximum clearance height and let it ride. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. Also, I used the remaining pieces of the flagpole that I couldn't use for Starlink, and I created another flagpole that goes up there in the front, and that's why I have the American flag up there for that. That's only when I'm parked. That's not going down the road. So just wanted to let you know that as well. All right, well, here we are back at the front of the bus. This is the heart of the whole operation. As you can see right here, I've got my Starlink router. Here's my Alta Labs Route 10 router. There's one of my power converters for all of the PoE stuff to get power to this stuff without having to plug it into the wall. There's the other one. This one is dedicated to Starlink. Move my hand so you can see it. This one's dedicated to Starlink. I've got some USB ports up here. These are for my cameras that I've got installed. These two are for the ones that I showed you on the roof. This one is for this one right here that follows me. It's a pan zoom camera. I've installed my command center hardware to allow me to have my iPad up here, my phone right here. I've got my hotspot in one as well up on the window so that it has a clearer line of sight to the outside world, so it can pick up signal and provide good bandwidth. Some of the other things that I've done in here that go way beyond what was originally intended, but I had to. I put me a light switch up here. As you can see, it makes a world of difference. I've also routed all of my Ethernet cables. This bundle right here goes into here, goes through the back, comes out over there and routes down and provides me my Ethernet ports on the front side of the bus back there. This one right here Goes to the back, does the same thing, routes down and provides me my Ethernet port. You can see one that's just hanging right there. So this is my front switch. It's all wired up, all connected. This is my uplink port, goes directly into the Route 10. This is my WAN 1 input from this hotspot right here. This is my Wavelink router, which is the Wilderness Wi-Fi component that is out there on the roof that I showed you. This is my internal Wi-Fi cable connection. It's running power over Ethernet back to an internal hotspot that I'll show you in a minute. This goes to the front switch, which is right here. This goes to my rear switch, which is back in my equipment cabinet, and this is my Starlink input right here. One of the things that I do want to tell you too is that I've got both the Starlink in bypass mode, so it is not outputting any Wi-Fi at all. I have got my T-Mobile hotspot with IP pass-through, so it is not putting out any Wi-Fi signals at all. So the only thing it does is take the external cell signal, bring it in, put it out over an Ethernet line, bring it up into the Route 10 up here, and provide me my WAN connection from the outside world. Same thing with the Starlink. Comes in from the antenna, comes out of here, goes directly into the Route 10. So there are no extraneous Wi-Fi signals anywhere in here, which is why these can be in here and not somewhere else where they're not obstructed. One of the other things that I did was take one of the ports and add me a maintenance port in here where I can connect to the network from inside of here and be able to connect to and do work on the inside of the equipment cabinet and be connected to the network without having to be on Wi-Fi. And I added my light here, which lights up the equipment cabinet. One of the other things that I did, if you come down here, is okay, it should be working, but it's not. But this light is working. I'll figure out why it's not working, but I added this light. It was working. I must have changed something that took it out. Okay, let's pause right there and let's fix this. So if you notice right here, if I push this like I was just doing, it doesn't come on. Well, there's a good reason for that, because yours truly forgot to turn on the light switch. It works. I can turn it on and off. I can change the color. And I can change the brightness and delay it. Or I can dim and brighten it. So I just wanted to fix that real quick. It was just me making a mistake and I forgot to turn on the light switch. So back to your regularly scheduled programming. But anyway, this light was working. I don't know why it's not working now, but I put a light up here to light up the cab area. Mounted my equipment cabinet. So the first thing I did was secure it into this with my pocket hole screws, as I said I would. And then I added this one in with the pocket hole screws, as I said I would. One of the other things that I had to do on this side, I put this up just to be able to temporarily have a place to mount this thing and hold it up while I got it in place. I used some of my clamps, not clamps, but the support clamps to actually pick this up and hold it. I built this wall, put this wall underneath it, and this wall actually segregates the cab area from the rest of the bus. There's more going on here right now that will be in future videos, but right now I put this in here so that I could set that on top of that and very precisely and positively mount it down. If you do notice, one of the other things that I did was I brought the plywood all the way up to the front, right behind the cab. Had to do a lot of work to clean up all the wiring and stuff and make sure it was good to go, but I got that in. I have to replace my seat belt because I broke it. It got locked up on me and I was trying to get to the latch to undo it to get it to work again, and I pulled the wrong side off and the spring exploded out on me. So got to get me another one. Coming over here, if you look, I have put the plywood all the way up to the front as well. So I finished all the strapping, got all the plywood in. You can see my frames for my windows. There's the layout for the windows that are going to go on this side. They're not painted yet because I may have to do some other maintenance on them and stuff, and so I'm going to wait until after I see that before I do all the sanding, painting, and all the other stuff that I need to do on those. But those are laid out. Come over here. Here's my other emergency exit over here. That's where that's going. It'll be sitting right there. So still haven't got past this point on wire cleanup, but I'm going to. And I do have all of my network cables routed down here. If you see, they're all right there, all nice and neat, running all the way to the back. I've dropped out my network connections on both sides where I intend for them to about be. Not really nailed down yet, but that's about where they're about going to be. And so let's look at the next thing. There is my access point for all of the Wi-Fi that will be running inside the bus. This is the only Wi-Fi in the bus. It is powered by PoE from my router. I've got it set up where it's got a 2.4 gigahertz band for my security cameras and a 5 gigahertz band for all of the connections that will be going on to this thing. I love it. It works well. I've got really good throughput through it. I've tested that already, and it is actually all of my cameras that are inside the bus that you hear the annoying you being recorded are all running off of this right now, and they're all feeding back to the router from the router through Starlink. One thing that I do want to point out is that I did have to kill my hotspot because load balancing on the router was alternating connections back and forth, and they started throttling my throughput on my hotspot because of data consumption, and so I just turned it off until it resets, and then I'll turn it back on. But that's where that is. Let's continue the walk a little bit and go further back to the back of the bus. As you notice, I have done quite a bit of cleanup. I spent all day yesterday doing that. I've got my shower completely emptied. Guess what's coming up here real quick? I cleaned this out. Doesn't look like it, but I cleaned this out, got everything out of it, and just put a few things back in here. This is all plumbing related hardware because that's what I'm getting ready to start tackling here in a minute, and get all this plumbing finalized, tested, and get everything in place. I'm also going to start working on getting all of this stuff cleaned up and closed in, and make sure that everything over here is all taken care of as well. Coming back here, I do want to show you. So I've got this patch panel right here. For this side, I've got this patch panel in place because this is going to drop down into this area over here, and from this area over here is where I'm going to have some entertainment equipment and all of those kind of things. And I'm trying to have everything in this bus that can be hardwired as opposed to everything using Wi-Fi. And so that's the reason for that. This side, I've got a few a few Ethernet drops as well for this side, for anything that will go over here that can be connected to a Ethernet interface as a hardwired connection. And that pretty much covers all of the things that I had to do in here to get that thing working. There, by the way, there's my two cameras that are running off that access point inside. One's facing the rear, one's facing the front. Every time I walk through here, it tells me I'm being recorded, and my answer is I know, I put you there. But anyway, that's where we're at. And now I do want to go back up to the front and talk about a few things with regard to the network setup and configuration and stuff, because that's one of the reasons why it is now going on over 2 weeks since I've done this. So let's walk back up to the front and talk about that for a minute.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
Yeah, no. So one of the things that I want to share with you with the Route 10, when I set this up and configured it, I had a lot of issues with it. and in all fairness, guys, it was me making rookie mistakes and screwing things up in the configuration because I wasn't paying attention or wasn't quite familiar with the way that the Alta Labs architecture worked. One of the challenges that I had was that I could not get the static route that's needed through here to allow me to access the debug information from the Starlink antenna. And I fought with it, and after 10 days of trying to fight it, I finally opened up a support case with Alta Labs. And I do have to tell you that I am extremely impressed and very satisfied with the level of support and the engagement. One of the things that we have found is there are some bugs that they're currently working on, and I shared access to it, and they're actually working on trying to figure out those bugs and get those fixed. So there may be updates to the Alta Labs in the future that are a direct result of troubleshooting on this system. But I fought this, and as I said, a lot of it was just me making mistakes, and they got me squared away. Everything is working, everything is connected. I don't have any issues with this thing right now at all. I'm getting very good throughput on it. There's still some other things that they're trying to work out, but it is all set and working. And I fought this thing for about 10 days before I finally decided to reach out to them and try to figure out what was going on. And in more or less one day, they had most of the things squared away, identified the things that were bugs, and have been working on that ever since. So I did want to come back up and share that. I'm not sponsored by Alta. They didn't give me this equipment. I'm just sharing that I was really happy and impressed with the level of support and the way that they responded and what they've done. Because the original support request was I can't get static routing to work and my router's not routing. And all of that's been fixed. And they're continuing to work in it to try to isolate some bugs and get those fixed as well. But anyway, I wanted to share that, make sure you're up to date on it, and understand that it was a challenge for me. It was not more or less the fault of the equipment other than the bugs. A lot of it was just me making rookie mistakes. But it's all taken care of. We're all back in business. Everything is working. They continue to do some things and changes. And we stay in constant contact. So I wanted to share that and provide you an update on that and let you know where that stands. So let's
currently being recorded.
At this point, what I want to do is let's do the proof of concept and see if we can figure out if this thing actually works the way that I thought it would. So let's take a walk. All right, here we are at the front of my bus. You can see the wavelength up in the picture there. So the first speed test that I'm going to inlay on the top of this video is from right here, very close to the bus, just so you can get an idea of what the bandwidth was. And this is starting out on the 5 gig. I'll overlay the 2.4 gig speed test as well. All right, this is the next location for the speed test that you have that I'm showing you on the screen right now. The bus is pretty much right behind that tree right there, and the antenna is sitting on top of it, right through there. So it's pretty much broadcasting right through the center of that tree, coming out this way. This is, in my estimation, 40 to 50 yards away from the bus right now, based on where I'm at. And I used the same reference points for both 2.4 and 5 gig and did all of the tests at the same location so that you see what it looks like. So let's go to the next spot. And now here I am at the end of my driveway. I don't know if you can pick it out, but right over the top of the car through the leaves, you can see the flag that I put on top, which is another reason I put it up there. It helps me easily identify where that antenna is so that I can reference it. I would say that this is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 85 to 100 yards, may not quite be 100 yards, but you can see the overlays of the speed test out here at this distance. And now I'm going to walk right into a couple of different spots, and then I'm going to walk left into a couple of different spots and show you the line of sight for those tests as well. And this is the line of sight for this speed test. As you can see, I'm running the speed test in the overlay. I don't know if you can see the flag, you see a yellow one flapping, and then the American flag is right behind it. That's the center or top of the roof back there. This is well over 100 yards, I can guarantee you. And these are the speed test results from here. So now let's go one more spot. For this speed test, this is the next line of sight. It is shooting more or less through all those trees and through my house to the top of the bus. And these are the speed test results from this location. And this is the final location, right straight through all those trees, through the house to the bus on the other side of the house. And here are the speed results from this location. For reference on this location, if we look back down the road, I'm in front of my neighbor's house basically, and way in the distance you see those white signs that are poking up. I was standing in the middle of those. That's my driveway. So now we'll go to the other side of the driveway and see what we get over there. Here is the first line of sight reference to the left of my driveway. The bus is right back through there, right straight through, in between this fork tree and this tree right here. Right in between those, straight back, is where the bus is. One of the other things that I tried to do was more or less walk off the same amount of distance on each side so that the results were fairly consistent. So let's go to the next spot. All right, here is the next location. You can see my shed right there, my other bus right there, that cluster of trees right there. We're shooting right straight through that and going to the bus. And you can see the results from the speed test at this particular location as well. And this is the last location and the last result. I'm about the same distance from the driveway as I was on the other side. We're shooting right through there, right on the back side of the shed and through the back end of the bus. More or less the bus is right behind that big tree right there and then through the shed. And that's what the speed results from this particular location look like. And now we have one more location to go through, and then we'll come back and do a little bit of recap. All right, this is the last location. Ladies and gentlemen, we are easily 150 yards away from the bus. We're going up a hill. We have no line of sight to the bus whatsoever. Going through these trees, down the driveway, and hitting the bus. And these are the speed result tests from this location. If you look right over in this area, you can see the white sign at the end of the driveway. That's where the driveway is. So these are the results from this location right here. So now let's take a walk back and look at some other things. One of the things that I realized by validating the speed check on the 2.4 gigahertz range, as you guys have seen, is that I realized that I could actually set up a perimeter security system away from the bus to extend the detection range. That's what this camera is doing right here. It is currently connected to the bus. It has been broadcasting all day. The batteries are pretty much untouched. I do have a solar panel power input for it to keep the batteries charged. I'm just setting it here for some kind of a preliminary test just to see how it works. And just so you're aware, it sees all the way out to the end of the driveway out there where we were, and we did that last check at 100 yards. So that's what this one sees. Let's take a walk around the house and I'll show you another one. And now we are walking on the one that I have for the back side of the bus. It's sitting right there. It shoots up through that way. The field of view has pretty much most of the back deck area. Actually, based on what I'm seeing in the GoPro right now, the field of view of the camera is pretty much the same as what you're seeing in the GoPro video. So my dog does set it off, and his location is that big tree right there. He's off to this side. He runs through there and he sets this thing off when he's up there. So there is the back of the bus. The antenna is 30 feet forward of that, and this thing is picking up, and it's been sitting here stable all day and has not dropped off once. So there are the results of the Wi-Fi as I envisioned it. We'll go back in the bus and talk a little bit more about it. All right, so here we are. We're back at the bus, and now it's time to look at the overall perspective of this system and see if we can figure out if it was worth it or not. One of the biggest things is whether Whether you think it's worth it or not, one of the things that I have realized is that this solution has actually allowed me to bridge the tin can and be able to have Wi-Fi access both inside the bus and outside the bus, even though all of my WAN inputs are coming from outside. My security cameras, when I had the hotspot inside, were completely unstable. They rarely worked. They were always losing connection, and now they are completely stable. The other thing is that whether I get the distances out of it that it advertises or not, based on the foliage, the hills, all of the other stuff that I'm dealing with right now in this area, I think that it is extremely functional and capable. If I was on flat level ground with a clear line of sight, I am absolutely sure that I could get much further away and have much better signals at those distances. But one of the things that I can tell you is that I tried to connect both on 2.4 and 5 gig to the Omada access point that is on the inside. On the inside, I get good connection and I get good speeds. For the 5 gigahertz, I was able to get over 200 megabits. For the 2.4, I got somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60. Outside, I cannot even connect to it. So I have definitely bridged the gap of the metal tin can and now have access to Wi-Fi both inside and outside the bus. Outside allows me to keep my security system up and running. It also allows me to connect to Wi-Fi and see what's going on at the bus, even if I'm not in it, and at some legitimate distance away from it, I can still see it. So I'm really happy with it. I would really appreciate understanding your thoughts on it and whether you think it was worth it, whether you think it's worthwhile, if it was an idea that you might consider in the future. Some lessons learned on this is one of the biggest challenges that I had was getting that router configured. I need to pay more attention to those kind of things and stop making rookie mistakes. Also trying to figure out the right location. I'm really happy with the fact that I figured out that with the range of the 2.4, I can actually extend the perimeter of my security system well beyond what I would normally be able to do right there in the immediate vicinity of the bus. At this point, I can see wildlife approaching, whether they be predators or harmless. I can see human people approaching, whether they be predators or harmless. I have a much greater view of what's going on outside the bus, other than when it's too late and they're already there. One of the things that I did do is I got the Wi subscription, so everything is recorded locally and everything is recorded in the cloud as well. So there is no escaping what's going on with my security system. So with that, I think that we're going to call it a wrap on this one. I'm going to probably do a video that goes a lot deeper into the specifics of how I pulled together the camera system, mounted them, all of those kind of things, and try to do a little bit deeper dive on that and give you some more insight on that. Every camera on the bus is Wise. I'm not sponsored by them. It's just what I chose to go with and keep everything standard as a single manufacturer, and it makes it real easy. So with that, I think we're going to wrap this one up, and I'll try to get back much sooner than 17 days from my last video. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.